I wanted to show you guys how the cinder block wall in the back worked or looked. It's just a standard cinder block wall. What I wanted to show is, instead of capping them with more brick or one of those flat like type of paver pieces, we capped them and glued on rock. This way, from across the way, it looks as if this is a rock retaining wall back here, but it's actually brick or cinder block with the stone capping. And from across, I'll come over here and show you. Once the dirt all filled in, it looks, you can just see the tops of the rocks. It doesn't even look like there's block. Great way to save some money. The rocks we're using for this pond are mainly granite. Here is, I'd say, about 2 tons of granite boulders. Here's the other, maybe of the 2 tons. There's a big pile of a gravel that we're going to use, and about 3/4 to 1 ton of moss rock for, well, they want it as sort of a coping. And some more granite. The reason why I'm real fond of granite boulders instead of the moss rock is because of all these flat edges. Like on, say, that big boulder, we can stand it up next to a waterfall, and we have a nice flat area where we can put so it doesn't puncture the liner. And they're real good to build waterfalls with as well. And of course they're lighter than original rocks because they're, I'm guessing they're a little more sedimentary stone than some of the more metamorphic, as those are more solid, kind of quartz type rock. These are more like sedimentary rock. Again, there's another good flat piece, and just overall good looking stuff. I also really like the little spotted texture that these rocks have. And once they start to get exposed to high amounts of oxygen and moisture, they start, the iron in them starts rusting and they turn a nice brown. So they age as your pond does. Here's the moss rock. Now there's many forms of moss rock. This is basic field moss rock. And the field stones are really round and somewhat hard to work with. But the friend who I'm helping build a pond for really likes the look of moss rock, so we're gonna be using the moss rock for some of the coping and in the waterfall. But yeah, as you can tell, I mean, mainly round pieces. Some have nice distinct flat edges, but you know, especially for people who are just starting to build a pond and have never really stacked any type of stone or used any type of, or don't have any masonry skills, stuff is real hard to stack. But we're going to be using it today. Here's the liner we will be using. It's again a 20 by 24 Firestone Pond Guard liner. I'm guessing the thickness is 40 to 45 mil. And there's, I said we got a puncture and we had to cut short, and there's the splice that we did, or I did. Gathered some rain, so we're gonna go ahead and fold this up and move this into the pond next. So here's the rocking in process. I'd say about a third done. Kind of ran out of the smaller boulders, just the real big ones. So we're gonna stop here for a moment, think about what we're gonna do, order more rock, and we'll continue either later today or tomorrow. But yeah, the liner's in. It's not underlime, it's liner already. Yeah, it's starting to look good. Alright, this is the end of the day. Not sure what day it is, 3 or 4, not sure what day. But got that going in. That's all dry stacked, and this wall on this side, it's a 3-foot vertical wall we decided to mortar in. It's curing right now, but we're gonna keep stacking it and mortaring it in tomorrow. It's coming along. The waterfall hasn't had any work on it thus far. So far it's looking good, and the homeowners approve. Here's the wall that I've been working on all morning. It's fully mortared in. It's a standard granite that we're using all around, and I'm starting on the coping with the moss rock. Thinking there's going to be flagstone on top of that, because there's the patio. I think the pond so far has about 4 tons of rock. I think it's looking really good. Now, you might be wondering why this granite looks different from this one. This granite here on this wall is quarried granite, so it's busted out of the side of a mountain or a cliff, and that's why it doesn't it's not exposed to oxygen or water, so it doesn't, the iron pigments don't really rust in the rock, so it doesn't get that color. But this stuff has been, it's sort of like a fieldstone granite, where it's been laying around for a while. It's got a time to kind of mature and rust and kind of get these into these type of smoother but yet angular shapes. These are kind of more sharper type angular rock. Both equally pleasing to stack. I like both of them. These are just a little lighter, but I am not real fond of the moss rock. And the quarried or lightly tumbled quarried moss rock is actually really nice to work with, but this stuff is field moss rock, and it's really hard because of these round shapes. So I would not recommend to use those, especially if you're building a pond for the first time or have a tall wall. Alright, see you when I see more progress. Alright, so the body of the pond is now all rocked in. That's the cemented wall. That's with the patio. The edge over there, we are going to do just a thin flagstone or a mortared flagstone, so you'll have a nice approach. There's that wall, and there's the waterfall, and here's the edge over here. This pond is ready, I'd say 90% rocked in, almost done. Those 2 stones will be the cascade stones into the pond. The water level will be just under the second rock to the right. The waterfall, some of the larger stones are getting put in place. There's the waterfall filter, and it's moving along. The rock wall has, this mortared in rock wall has cured up nicely. We got more stone and filled in that wall. We have 3/4 gravel all over the place. And we're just working on the waterfall. So far with the wall and the rocks, I believe we used 6 tons of rock, and we may need 1 ton more. And that's not counting all the gravel. So check back with you guys soon.